all the app, you have to do this, and you have to put more money into the phone because it is smartphone. If it repair, you have to put more charges. Every desired activity you add to your life will take a certain amount of time from the day of 24 hours by adding some Nitya Karma and by adding some Naimitika. Is it clear? Is this clear?
What is the meaning of Nimitika?
Means that when the reason comes, you should immediately do it. You cannot avoid it. I give Ekadashi as an example. Ekadashi comes once in 15 days. It's not coming daily. The moment Ekadashi comes, you have to fast. Right? You cannot avoid it. You cannot say, no, I'll fast after 3 days.
Because there is that distinction between Sanatana Dharma and Nimitic Dharma.
No, this is not in that case. We are not talking about, that is another different story.
Ekadashi is not karma.
This is another, that classification which you are giving is another classification. This is a different classification. Okay. That is duties pertaining to body and duties pertaining to the soul. What you are saying.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. This is duties pertaining to body and soul. Both body and the soul. But they are classified into daily duty, emergency duty and desired duty. It's a different classification. It's not the same classification which...
So when you say karma, it also include chanting the holy name and so on?
Actually,
Like,
bhakti can be classified as a desire to do it. But then it is not like that. Okay? Even though it looks like that, but it is not like that because that is your original situation. That's your sanatana duty. That's your original situation. It's not kame karma. Life is meant for doing bhakti. Rest of everything is kame karma. You understand? So, like going to Swarga, trying to attain siddhis, these are all kame karma. Like trying to have a mobile phone, it is kame karma. Trying to have a big car, a Rolls Royce car, is kame karma. Or trying to reach a certain position in a career, kame karma. Trying to have a certain social status, kame karma. Okay? These things are not wrong, but they are not compulsory. But the moment you try to do them, then it will add Nitya Karma and Naimitya Karma. So what will happen is that the more Kamya Karma you add to your life, the less time you will have in a day. Is this clear? Is it clear? Because your time is fixed to 24 hours. So the more Kamya Karma you have, then the less free time you have. Yes?
The karma doesn't necessarily mean karma, isn't it? So we could have bhakti or
Bhakti is completely different. It doesn't come in this category of Kamya Karma at all. Bhakti is your constitutional position.
so then anything that goes into the karma is
It's material. It's purely material.
Ah, okay, fine.
Desires to enjoy the material world.
So it's enjoyment basically. It's
Pious enjoyment, legal enjoyment.
a subcategory of enjoyment.
Any legal enjoyment which you want to have comes under Kamya Karma.
Brahmacharis do Naimitya karma and Nitya karma.
They only do this. Nitya and Naimitya. Zero Kamya. This is Brahmachari life. Brahmachari life is meant to be like this. That's why Brahmacharis have a lot of time.
Yeah?
Brahmacharis have a lot of time to do Krishna consciousness. Why? Because they have zero Kamya Karma in their life. They don't have any aspiration to become a career man. They don't have any aspiration to get married. For a man, getting married is Kamya Karma. But for a woman, getting married is Naimitya Karma.
Emergency.
Yeah. When she comes of age, then she has to get married.
For a woman, it should be Nitya karma.
Now, how he doesn't get married daily? Nitya means daily it should be done. You just get married only one time. When the time comes for her to get married, then she will get married. It is Naimitika.
But then man, what it is?
For man, it is Kamya Karma. He can remain brahmachari or he can become householder. It depends on his desire. It's not like, if he remains brahmachari, he will get sin. It's not like that.
But for women, she cannot remain.
If she doesn't get married, it's sinful. So, this is Vedic time management. In Vedic system, how do you manage your time? If you want to get more time, you simply list all the Kami Dharma which is there in your life and then stop each of them. Then automatically you will get more time. This is Vedic system of getting more time. This is Vedic time management. And this is actually a proper way of time management. Not this modern technique, that modern they put 4 quadrants like this. They say urgent, important. Then they say that urgent, not important, not important, not urgent, and then not urgent but important. Something like that. They make 4 quadrants, and then they say that you try to see which activity where is all.
Devotees also preach like
Nonsense.
that.
Huh?
Devotees also preach like that.
Yeah, this is nonsense. This is actually proper time management. What is proper time management? Proper time management is just list out all Kami Dharma in your life and start kicking them one after other, then you get time. That's it. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. Okay? So, brahmachari life means zero Kami Dharma. So, when a man is properly trained in brahmacharya, then he actually has lived 24-25 years of his life with zero Kami Karma, zero activities of sense gratification. So, then when he gets married, then he is very, very careful not to simply rush into life of sense gratification because he already has the training. But if a woman is not chaste, then she will rebel against her husband. She will say that, what is this? You are not allowing me to enjoy. I should enjoy. So you should do this, you should do that. So therefore, woman has to be chaste. That when a man is qualified, the woman's quality of chastity will simply help her to follow her husband's instruction. And she will not step beyond her husband. That's why Prabhupada says that man's training is brahmacharya and woman's training is chastity. So a man who has been trained as a proper brahmachari and a woman who has been trained to become chaste, both of them when they combine in marriage, then they will simply focus in Krishna consciousness. So that is our problem most of the time, because neither the men have training in brahmacharya nor the women are chaste. So therefore, the man, he himself is so much, he has his own ideas of sense gratification, and the woman, she comes into the man's life, she is not chaste, she doesn't want to follow her husband, she also has her own ideas about what she should do in life, and both of them simply complicate each other's life. And then they don't have time for Krishna consciousness. And then they say, oh, I'm so busy, we can't do Krishna consciousness, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to do so many things. So that's why Prabhupada makes his statement that the training of the man is brahmacharya, and the training of woman is chastity.
So Prabhuji, now that we are not trained, what it will be always complicated, or there is
No. See, Prabhupada says even a late beginner can get success in Krishna consciousness. This is Prabhupada talks about in the Bhagavad Gita 3rd chapter. Okay. There Prabhupada actually gives a rider. What does a late beginner mean? Prabhupada says that means as soon as one has understood the importance of Krishna consciousness, then everything will work out.
Okay.
Then everything will work out. Because the man and woman will then sit and discuss. They will decide, oh, now we have to become Krishna conscious. We should go back to Godhead. So we should make our life accordingly. We should not simply try to, spend our time in Kami Karma. So they know this. So they will actually make that list. Okay, this is all Kami Karma in our life. Let us start kicking it one after other. They'll just kick all the Kami Karma out of their life. They'll keep see, you can't live family life without Kami Karma. Some minimum should be there. But they will actually minimize that Kami Karma. And they will have minimum Kami Karma. Then they will have lot of time for Krishna consciousness. That's it.
Nimitic karma can then also lead to Nitya karma, no?
No. Naimitika is,
Because you told a woman is marine, so that's Nimitika, but she every day has to take care of her husband and do anything, so it goes after that into the category of Nitya karma.
yeah. But like she is going to take care of her duty. See what, like Sri Dharma, okay. As long as she is in her father's house, she has to serve her father, okay. So when she goes to her husband's house, she is going to serve her husband.
In that way is Nimitika, because it's different part of her life, that's what you
Yeah, but the initial part of her life where she is serving her father, she is, except for the sex life, she is doing everything which she is supposed to do to her husband. Okay. But she is in the learning phase of doing all those things. She is not actually doing, but she is in the learning phase. So when she goes to her husband, she is going to apply what she has learned. So in that sense, it's not like drastically different.
Okay.
That's why marriage has to be anuloma, it should not be pratiloma. All these things come from this only.
What is this?
But the reflected qualities of Krishna, basically.
Women has to be familiar with
Yeah.
this, it's okay.
Now, see, like a Brahman lady can only marry a Brahmin man because she is trained in Brahminical duties. For her, marrying a Kshatriya means coming down from her position of Brahminical duties. She is not trained in that. Her mother has not trained her in Brahminical Kshatriya duties.
Yes.
So she has to relearn the whole thing to become a Kshatriya woman. And that is a step down for her. That's why Pratiloma marriage is not good. Anuloma marriage is good. Because the girl is already trained to live in a certain way. And then she will simply carry out her duty. But when a girl of lower Varna, she gets married to a man of higher Varna, because she is chaste, she will simply follow her husband's instruction.
But then for the man it is not horrible.
For a man, it is not good, but at the same time, he is responsible, so he is taking that responsibility knowingly. So it's okay.
Like Brahmana marrying a Vaishya or a Shudra woman.
Yeah, generally for him, he gives him additional responsibility of training her. Because she is chaste, then she would simply follow her his order. So generally, that's why Anuloma is considered as good. Okay, please read.
The man who lives with a wife has a great responsibility in maintaining the members of the other social orders, the brahmachari, vanaprasthas and sannyasis.
Yeah, see, this is what is his responsibility. That he should maintain the brahmacharis, vanaprasthas and sannyasis. Okay.
Except for the grahasthas or the householder, everyone is supposed to engage in spiritual advancement of life, and therefore the brahmacharis, the vanaprasthas and the sannyasis have very little time to earn a livelihood. They therefore collect alms from the grahasthas, and thus they secure the bare necessities of life and cultivate spiritual understanding.
Why Grihasthas not required? This way? Except for the Grihasthas, everyone is supposed to engage.
Yeah, they're supposed to full-time engage in spiritual advancement. Grahastha means he has to maintain his wife, he has to maintain his children. He can dovetail everything in Krishna consciousness, and that will become his means for spiritual advancement. But for him, if he doesn't dovetail, at least he has to do his duty.
By Vedic injunction, the wife is accepted as the better half of a man's body, Because he is supposed to be responsible for discharging half of the duties of the husband. A family man has a responsibility to perform 5 kinds of sacrifices called the Panchayagya in order to get relief from all kinds of unavoidable sinful reaction incurred in the course of his affairs.
So the wife should be trained in all these things. Like, she should be able to train, do everything for her husband. Okay.
When the wife is accepted as a sense gratificatory agency, personal beauty is the main consideration. And as soon as there is a break in personal sense gratification, there is disruption or divorce. But when husband and wife aim at spiritual advancement by mutual cooperation, there is no consideration of personal beauty or the disruption of so-called love. In the material world, there is no question of love. Marriage is actually a duty performed in mutual cooperation as directed in the authoritative scriptures for spiritual advancement. Therefore, marriage is essential in order to avoid the life of cats and dogs who are not meant for spiritual enlightenment.
Yeah, marriage is a samskara. It's a Vedic samskara. It's not like just a license for sense gratification. So, long time back in Dubai, one spiritual master, he actually came and he gave a lecture in one of his disciples' marriage. So that lecture was very instructive. He said that a householder accepts a wife for the same reason a sannyasi accepts a danda. What does that mean? It means that they are supposed to both utilize their ashram for spiritual advancement and preaching. It's not that the ashram is simply meant for sense gratification. So Prabhupada also explains here, when the man becomes a reason for divorce. Sometimes the man can be a reason for divorce, sometimes the woman can be a reason for divorce. In 2 different purports, Prabhupada explains both the things. So in this particular purport, Prabhupada explains why a man becomes a reason for divorce. When a man simply sees his wife as an agency for sense gratification, then he becomes the reason for divorce, because when the wife stops delivering sense gratification to him, then he wants to reject her. Then he becomes the reason for divorce. So in some other purport, I think in the 7th canto one purport is there, where Prabhupada explains why women become reason for divorce. So here he is saying that when the aim is spiritual advancement, then there is no disruption of so-called love. Okay.
Of the 4 orders of human society, the student or brahmachari order, the householder or grihastha order, the retired or vanaprastha order, and the renounced or sannyasi order. The householder is on the safe side. The bodily senses are considered blunders. The sex demand is inevitable for everyone, but one who has a fixed wife is saved from the onslaught of the sense enemies. A man who possesses a good wife does not create a disturbance in society by corrupting virgin girls. Unless there is rigid and systematic training of a brahmachari by the expert spiritual master, and unless the student is obedient, it is sure that the so-called brahmachari will fall prey to the attack of sex. The grihastha is responsible for producing first quality brahmacharis, vanaprasthas and sannyasis.
Yeah. So this is the purpose of grihastha ashram. They should produce first class brahmacharis, vanaprasthas and sannyasis. So therefore, if a man is disturbed by sex desire, he should simply accept grihastha ashram and he should be satisfied with his wife. Otherwise, he will simply create disturbance in the society, because he will try to have a relationship with some other man's wife, and so many different things will happen. And even in ISKCON, these kind of things happen. That sometimes a brahmachari or a sannyasi, he is unable to control his sex desire, and then there is havoc. There's havoc. There's so much of disturbance in the society. People get disturbed. People become faithless. They think that, oh, the process is not working. this man is supposed to be such a big brahmachari, why did he do that? Or this man is supposed to be such a big sannyasi, why did he fall down? So many people ask so many questions, and then this whole havoc in the society. So therefore, everyone should be very careful. Everyone should be very careful. That's why in Kali Yuga, generally sannyasi is also not recommended. Okay.
Is Grihastha also possible to fall down? No? Guruvai.
Yeah, but at least he will fall down with his wife.
That's in the ideal case.
So we see Grihastha.
No, most of the time. It is very rare that, I am talking about a devotional society, I am not talking about outside society. Outside society, everybody is living like cats and dogs. They are just, coming together and going away from each other. This is all living like cats and dogs. At least in devotional society, when a grahastha is living with his wife, then at least he is falling down with his wife. He may not be able to, only have sex for procreation. He may have sex for recreation and live like a grahamedi. But at least then he is not disturbing others. His problem is himself.
Oh, but sometimes he is also spending time with others because it's not feeling
Yeah.
satisfaction in life.
Yeah, correct. It may happen. It may happen. Kali Yuga, everything happens. It may happen.
Yeah, because we study in the first canto that prostitutes are like a necessary reason for grihasthas to have a.
Yeah, but generally, a man, at least a devotee husband, is not supposed to go to prostitute. He is supposed to satisfy his desire with his wife.
That also you shouldn't do, no, actually.
What is that?
No other desire apart from begetting children.
No?
No other desire apart from begetting children.
Yeah, but then if he is not able to maintain the standard, what he will do?
Control.
If he is not able to maintain the standard, what he will do?
Unaspected population will create.
Then, it happened in Mayapur that one Prabhupada disciple, he was going to prostitute in Navadip. Then they went and complained to Prabhupada, saying that he is going to prostitute in Navadip. Then Prabhupada asked why, because they said, oh, his wife is saying that only procreation for having children, and he is not able to control his sex desire. So then Prabhupada said, why? His wife should satisfy him. So at least satisfying sex desire with wife is not sinful. It may not be conducive to Krishna consciousness, but it is not sinful. But going to prostitute is sinful.
But not contraceptive and all that.
Contraceptive is sinful.
When we sign during the initiation, we understand that illegal sex is like outside of procreation.
Yeah, generally when spiritual masters give initiation to grahasthas, they ask them what standard of sex life you want to follow. So then the grahastha is supposed to discuss this with the spiritual master. That what standard he will follow.
So all the grihasthas, when they take the vow of no illicit sex, they have different degrees of illicit sex. That's what you say.
Prabhupada's definition of no illicit sex is clear. Sex only for procreation. Okay. Prabhupada's definition is very, very clear. Nobody can change that definition. Okay. But at the same time, it is also found that Kali Yuga grahasthas are not so strong. So then sometimes the spiritual masters discuss with the grahastha that what kind of standard you want to follow. At least honesty is expected.
Okay.
Honesty is expected. Then the spiritual master gives initiation. He knows what risk he is facing, and the disciple is taking initiation. He knows what standard he is meant to follow.
That becomes a goal, at least intermediate goal.
Yeah. And there is some honesty is there.
Okay.
Then the spiritual master can decide. He can say that I will not initiate you unless you follow sex for procreation.
Okay.
Or he may say that, okay, you finish your sex desire and come back for initiation.
Yeah,
Whatever,
how that is possible?
yeah, he may say, I'm saying that it is, see, when there is an honest dialogue between the spiritual master and the prospective initiate about this point, then everybody is getting into the process knowing fully well what they are doing.
What you say is some example happen in this one like this? Or
I have seen, because Maharaj, some Maharajas are so strict, I will not initiate till you are following for regulative principle. So the disciple wants to be initiated, so they try their best. And they take a little longer time.
Yeah.
And we join together, but the Grihasthas are not initiated, but they aspire. And they still, it is without initiation also, you are still a disciple because you are obediently following all the other principles.
Is there also examples of ISKCON or spiritual master who knows that okay, illicit sex is like this, but you are meant to follow in the future
Yeah,
like this?
yeah. Many spiritual masters do that. Many of them do.
Well, because it looks very bewildering that this thing once you do, you tend to do more. Like if you see in the past, Vediktam or even Bhaktivinoda Thakur that time, they are doing for procreation, they are having multiple children, natural. But nowadays people having only one or two children. That means you do only once and twice and your desire is satisfied and you never do. It looks very bewildering how that is possible.
So most of the time this is what happens, that the Grihasthas, they actually say that okay, this is the standard we can follow. Then the spiritual master takes a decision whether he can initiate or he cannot initiate. And when he initiates, then the spiritual master also takes some reaction. That's why Guru is not so easy. You know, it's like you see Guru and you think that Guru is so very nice, everybody is singing Jai Gurudeva, and everybody is dancing. You think Guru life is very nice, but Guru life is not so nice, because whatever the disciple does, Guru gets so much of reaction for it. It's not so easy to become Guru. Okay, please read.
So much glorification of a woman by her husband indicates that he is henpecked or is talking lightly in joke. The man in the renounced order of life has no wife and may be driven by sex desire to seek another woman or another's wife and thus go to hell.
You see, this is what happens. That when a man in a renounced order, he tries to enjoy another woman or another man's wife, what Prabhupada says, he goes to hell.
In other words, the so-called man of a renounced order who has left his house and wife goes to hell if he again desires sexual pleasure. Knowingly or unknowingly, in that way, the householders are on the side of safety. Therefore, husband as a class cannot repay their debts to women either in this life or in the next. Even if they engage themselves in repaying the woman throughout their whole lives, it is still not possible. Not all husbands are as able to appreciate the good qualities of their wives, but even though one is able to appreciate these qualities, it is still not possible to repay the debt to the wife. Such extraordinary praise by a husband for his wife are certainly in the mode of joking.
Yeah, so means that when a man wants to simply flatter his wife, then he speaks like this. Then he speaks so much glorification of his wife. Oh, my dear wife, you are like this, you are like that, you are so great, you are Paradevata. Then the wife also knows, oh, this guy wants something from me. Okay, now we have very nice qualities of Lord Shiva. Okay, please read.
Ghosts are bereft of a physical body because of their grievously sinful acts, such as suicide. The last resort of the ghostly characters in human society is to take shelter of suicide, either material or spiritual. Material suicide causes loss of the physical body, and spiritual suicide causes loss of the individual identity. Mayavadi philosophers desire to lose their individuality and merge into the impersonal spiritual Brahmajyoti existence.